Hi everyone. Today's reading is about what are the next few months of 2023 going to be bringing in for you. And before you hop on to selecting your pile and then to your reading, I just want to let you know one thing that 2023 was a challenging year, was a unique year. It was a year of personal refinement and anything that needs to be sharpened. If a coal has to turn into a diamond, it has to go through a lot of challenges and obstacles. And that must have happened for you within this year. Also, there was a whole cocktail of planets happening up in the sky, which also impacted our lives to a very huge extent. We must have had a lot of small realizations, even bigger realizations. There must have been situations that must have turned out completely different from what we speculated. But I just want to let you know that all this is only happening so that we get shaped up into our real selves. We realize our potential or we become better than who we are currently. What happens sometimes is we just end up believing who we are is just who we are. We never get to see our more deeper side, and that can only happen when you sometimes go through certain obstacles, certain challenges, because in those challenges you learn where you need to change, or you learn that what parts of yours are the ones that you need to hold on to strongly. So now you go ahead with your reading, but I just wanted to leave this message for you that doesn't matter how the last few months were and how the last few months now might turn out. What matters is that you simply operate from an authentic side and you simply see life as a journey, practice a little bit of detachment, but at the same time, don't forget to live life. Let's check what the remaining of 2023 is going to be bringing in for you. Ask yourself this question: what's going to happen for me? And then pick a crystal that you feel drawn to. Observe if any particular crystal is pulling you towards it. If you feel drawn to two crystals, then there might be messages in both the piles for you. Let's get started now. Hi, pile number 1. So for all those who selected the red crystal, we are here with your reading. One thing that I have to say looking at all the cards is that I think you have been thoroughly disappointed with how your career shaped up in the initial months of 2023. You are not happy with the fact that what disconnects in your career means for your finances as well. I think both financially and career wise, it was just like a bad year. It didn't feel like you're doing your work out of love, out of joy. It just felt like doing a duty, like being tied to a mundane task and doing it because you have to bring food on the table, you have your expenses and your finances to manage. So career wise, I think it was a major challenge for you in 2023. Now, my cards are saying that the lesson that you have learned up until now is maybe you were someone who was seeking validation quite a lot, and you were always placing the needs of others before your own. You also were somebody who was really trying to perfect something, or like always had that lens of perfection in whatever you did. But that perfection that you sought was not just for your own self, but only because you did not want to be criticized. And I feel that apart from people, this is something also to again do with your career, because there's a very strong message for that in the cards that you have been like completely unhappy with that up until now. So that is a lesson that you have to learn, and this is something you have to take forward into the next part of the year, which is that you have to place yourself also first many a times. It's not just that you're always giving into the needs of other people, or you're only focusing on what is it that they like and doing things as per their needs and their understanding. sometimes it's okay to place yourself as the first one, just to give all the attention to yourself. And another message that I'm getting is that, it's okay to not be perfect. Like, why do we chase perfection? Honestly speaking, we chase the idea of perfection because sometimes we have been criticized so much that we just want to be seen as this person who does everything in the right manner. So what I am getting is that you don't need to chase perfection, because perfection is also something that is hindering your growth. And you don't need to chase perfection from the lens of someone else. Because if we are trying to always make everything very perfect, that delays the process also, right? And what may be imperfect to you may be completely perfect to the other person. So I think just having that balance with your understanding of perfection is very, very important. Now, what is the one thing that you can look forward to, or the surprises that your life is going to bring you? I think you're going to be very, very pleasantly surprised. But what I'm getting in the cards is that your 10th house is going to get activated. So 9th house and 10th house in astrology is house of career. It's house of success. It's house, where you feel like joy in whatever you do, and you bring in more money, more opportunities to yourself. So your 10th house is getting activated, and I think your career is going to take a drastic turn in the coming few months of 2023. And what I sense is that there actually could be a new opportunity on its way, where you will feel a lot more settled, you will feel a lot more happier. And whatever is going to happen now in the coming few months in your life, just understand that everything is destined for you. Like, sometimes you're asking questions, oh, is this really my destiny? I'm not too sure. It sounds too good to be true. Because I see a lot of good things are going to be happening for you. So this is a question you might be asking yourself. But let me just tell you, yes, it is destined for you. It's a blessing from the universe. So of course, there might be certain roadblocks or obstacles also on the way. But you have to understand that right now you are in a very heavy destined period, a karmic period. So karmic means what? The karma that we have done, we are reaping the benefits of it, or sometimes the lessons of it. And whatever we are going to be doing now is also the karma that we are creating. So all of this is currently at the play of destiny for you. So I think it's going to be a very, very, very positive period for you. Now, coming on to your personal life. So when we talk about your love life, I see something really great is going to happen there. I feel for many of you in this pile, you people could be in a relationship. Some of you actually could be expecting a baby. You must have had a baby maybe. Basically, on your relationships and your love front, what I see is that everything is great. Like, you're well supported, things are going to sail very smoothly. And if by chance you're single and you feel that, I don't have a love life just yet, I actually feel that, in the coming few months, you're going to be going out on a lot more dates. You're going to be going out in the world and exploring that what's out there. I don't see somebody necessarily coming into your life like a committed partner. But what I see is like you're going to allow yourself, that enthusiasm and curiosity about that, let me go and see what's happening when it comes to the dating scene. So on the love front, I think that things are going to be great. There is going to be a lot of vitality, a lot of happiness and joy in the relationships around you. Specifically getting this message for people like who could be married or who have recently like had a baby or are expecting one. You are going to be immensely happy in your married life or with this new phase of your life. You're just going to be like extremely satisfied and happy, and you will feel like this is the reason why you wake up every day, for the joy, the peace, the happiness that this gives you. And if you're single, like I said, worry not. I think a lot of dating is going to be happening in your life. You're going to be going out and like be your very true self, somewhat unapologetically, and I think that's just going to make you very happy. So I don't think like in the coming few months, for those people who are single, you will have a very strong need of, I don't have love in my life, because I think you will just be like very happy with how things are, and you would be in a very exploring energy. So I think just going on dates or like meeting people is also going to give you that happiness. Now on the career front, what I see is you're actually going to be moving away from something that was not serving you well. It could be a job, it could be a particular work environment, it could be a particular industry as well. Like, maybe some of you could be in law or could be in some industry that you were not particularly enjoying, and you will finally have that understanding that, okay, where is it that I need to be shifting the focus to? Just gonna give one more card. So what I'm getting in the message is that, some of you could also be in the period of Saturn. Your birth chart could be very heavily influenced by Saturn right now, okay? Because of which, what I'm sensing is that yes, there are going to be better opportunities that are going to be coming to you. However, I feel the movement is going to be fairly slow. So I would just tell you it's okay to wait it out, okay? I think even if things don't take a drastic turn in the coming 6 months, you are over a period of time going to get that clarity. I also feel some of you are going to be in that risk-taking zone, like where you will be like that, what, even if I have to start everything from the scratch, I will, because I know I can. So that confidence boost is definitely there, and you will be supported also financially if you require that. But I would just say that yes, 6 months, I don't see the energy immediately picking up and things turning around magically, but I do see things falling into place. So like, suppose if you were looking for a certain connect or a vendor, you would suddenly find that. Now, that does not mean that randomly out of the blue something will come in your life and give you that opportunity. No. It may mean that, something that you've been looking for constantly for over many months, you were not able to find the right connect. But now, as you continue doing that, you're putting in the effort of finding the right connect, you will actually end up finding one. So things will start falling into place, okay? Financially, the message that I'm getting for a few people here is also, I think some people in this pile are also very dependent on their partners. They may not be the earning member of the family just yet. For few of you, that's a message. And I think that's starting to bother you. I think you want to have your own money. So that's one message that I'm getting. For many others, what I'm getting is that you are just tied down to things right now, like your job, your career, because you're just like that, if I take a risk or if I do something that is completely different, how will I put food on the table? How will I manage my expenses? So you are kind of feeling tied down because of your financial obligations now. And you just don't know if you can break out of this phase and this zone just yet, so that you can actually pursue what you truly want to pursue. But don't worry, these are the questions that are going to get answered very nicely. The clarity is going to come to you in the next few months in 2023. Now, let's see what's happening to yourself. We have the Queen of Swords here, which is like a great card to say that your personal self is really going to be transforming in the next few months. You will feel very strong. Like if till date you have been this person who never thought that they have this capacity in themselves, this courage in themselves, this independence in themselves. I'm hearing the word independence. You're actually going to realize that how truly courageous, independent, and unique you are. Like you have a lot of gifts within yourself. Like you have a lot of personal attributes that you never realized that, oh, I can do that. So you're definitely transforming into somebody very strong. I'm constantly hearing the word strong. See, so many sword cards. What I'm also getting in this pile is that you are someone who likes to do something about something to do with your voice, something to do with expressing yourself, something to do maybe with whatever you might be making with your hands. Like, there are some people who love to knit, but then knitting is seems like a dying art, so we don't know what we should do. Some people love to sing, some people love to talk. And I think for a very long time, you have had some or the other disappointment in regards to expressing yourself. So if you were somebody who liked to express yourself, could be anything, could be decorating the house, could be an activity like knitting. I think finally that expression of yours, it's going to find its space in the world. You're going to start thinking about how do I give that expression of mine its space in this world. And why is that? Because I think till now you have been carrying a lot of hurt regarding it. Like when we know that yes, there is something so unique and something so nice about us, and we are not able to bring it out, we feel very hurt, right? We feel as if we are not living in our authentic true self. And I think this expression you might have tried to bring out every now and then, but it may not have been truly realized. However, now I feel that slowly, eventually, you would actually discover your true self. And let me tell you, you're going to discover like a lot of attributes or traits that you thought you did not have, but you do have. I want to give also this one message here. Don't be very harsh on people. And don't have a lot of regrets that, why I could not understand this earlier. Why am I only understanding it now? And also be truthful to other people as well. Sometimes what happens is when we just start realizing a lot of things, we are very harsh on the other person. Or sometimes, we have this holier than thou attitude that, I always knew this. And I always knew that, how I'm right or how I always wanted this. It's all right to accept your flaws also. It's all right to accept where you also could have went wrong. And doing so, there is nothing wrong. But at the same time, don't do it by having a regretful mindset. And also with all these new learnings and new attributes that you might see in yourself, you might also see the need to create stronger boundaries. Now what happens is when we are new to creating boundaries, again, we can be a little bit harsh on other people, also on ourselves, which may not be a very happy state to be in. Because, we want to be around people, but we are a little confused of how to draw boundaries. It's hurting us also, and we know that it's hurting them also. So I think whatever you do it with a little bit more compassion. Do it with that understanding that, I am new on this journey and I am just starting to realize these things. It doesn't mean that it's a fault of other people. Neither it's a fault of mine. But since I'm on this new journey, I'm going to be taking the steps slow and steadily. Okay. Now, the advice that we have here is that, see, you're truly, truly, truly loved. You're loved by your angels, you're loved by the universe, and I see that you have very strong, good relations around you. But at the same time, what I'm getting is, I think you are a very dreamy person, like somebody who just likes to think of a lot of great things and maybe likes to live in this dreamy world that they have created, thinking that, eventually somehow the other things will work out. But I think what cards are saying now is that it's time to put a lot of things into action. See, dreaminess, overdose of like emotional absorption of things, thinking too much is what I'm getting from your cards. But action I'm only seeing here, and that also I'm seeing like in progression from page to knight to queen, and already carrying like a little bit of hurt from the past about how maybe this change in yourself or like the previous actions that you took like to discover your true side were not really beneficial to you, or they did not like really turn out in terms of how you wanted. So I want you to move away from this delusional mindset that, things will just fall into place. I think your life is now saying that you need to put in the action, especially with the Saturn in your cards and your 10th house being spoken about. If you will not take action, nothing is going to move. And when you come back for your reading next time, your career or whatever cards about your finance or like the cards that are there about showcasing the negative aspects or something that may not go your way are going to stay as it is. So if you genuinely want to change things, you would have to take action. And now the last thing, by the year ends, what is it that you're going to be realizing about the year? You're going to be realizing that, it's very important to surrender to joy. It's very important to indulge in random acts of smiling. It's very important to just find happiness and love in whatever you do. Especially like, see, as I told you in your career, I do see that, you may have had a very challenging year, which may have also botched your perspective or take on your own career, or how you see things, or how you see your relationship with your money now, how you see your relationship with your ambition now. I don't want you to change that. Instead, what I want you to understand is that everything in life is about just being happy in that moment and savoring that moment. So if your life is difficult right now, which means that you have to cultivate these moments. So maybe just randomly smiling or seeing the little things that are good in your life is a nicer way to even persevere in hard moments. So yes, that's the message I have for you, pile number 1. Let me know if this resonated, if any part of it resonated, if not all, and don't forget to comment below. And also, if you like the reading, please subscribe to the channel. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose this crystal, then these are your cards. Actually, before I move on to your message up until now that life must have taught you, I want to genuinely let you know that, you need to change your outlook to things, okay? Because 2 things that I'm sensing in this pile is that this pile has really struggled a lot with their personal relationships, especially romantic relationships, but also friendships and just dealing with people in general. And this pile must be really struggling with their financial health, with their finances currently, okay? So moving on to what you must have learned up until now, that you're not able to express yourself authentically. And funnily, as I'm reading about this pile also, I am feeling like lost at words. Like I'm not able to, I just feel that, as if something is slightly holding my neck and like it's not allowing me to express myself. And this is exactly what I feel that, you also could be feeling in your life, that, who you are versus who you depict to be are completely different people. Also, there is another aspect to it that sometimes, we try and be something that we are not, but we desperately want to be that. Like suppose, sometimes you put on like a fake persona or a persona of a kind where we know that this is not our true selves, but we hope to be that someday. Some kind of seeing that, you have had like a lot of different aspects of yourself, different facets to your personality, and you were struggling to understand how do you tie that all in, bring it together, and then define who you are. However, you have now at least gotten better understanding of all these different aspects of your personality. And I think what the latter half of this year is going to be teaching you is the wisdom to use and understand each different aspect of your personality. And at the same time, if there is something that needs to be changed in you, then the courage to accept that and to move ahead in changing that. So what I'm seeing here is that while there were a lot of confusion, like in the first half of the year, it's like you were at a loss. You didn't know who you were, or maybe you knew who you were, but you didn't know that how do I bring this out to people. And who you were, I also feel was not really serving you in the right manner. Like, as people, we love saying different things about us. Like sometimes we feel, like we are very loving, we are very giving, we are very nice. But if these traits, which we feel are like the good traits, if they're not serving us well, is it not time to take a look in the mirror and be like, okay, what is it that I need to change? What is it that I can do differently? That doesn't mean stop being a good person, but then maybe understand that your need for giving or your good naturedness could also be maybe just you seeking validation. And if that is so, then are you placing your eggs in the wrong basket? So this is just something that you need to understand. Now, what is the lesson that's going to be in the coming few months in your life is wisdom. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. I'm constantly hearing words like satbuddhi, samajdari, dunyadari. You are really going to grab wisdom in the coming few months. And I actually should not be using the word grab. You are just going to be shown a lot of wisdom, and a lot of deeper understanding of life is going to come to you. However, I do see you could be struggling with acceptance of that. And why is that? Because see, what happens is sometimes, like I said, that, you could have like multiple aspects to yourself, like any human, right? And then once we start becoming wiser, it's not just in one area of life that we get wiser. We start having a lot of realizations, we start learning lessons in a lot of different areas of life, sometimes collectively. So like bam, 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 all together in one go. Because of which the entire journey can become very overwhelming. And then what tends to happen is sometimes if you're unable to accept that, and if you're more happier living in denial, because just realizing that, oh, we need to change this also, this also, this also, can be really overwhelming. It can make one lose a sense of their self, right? So the moment we realize that, it becomes very overwhelming, and then sometimes we just shut everything down. We just tell ourselves, what, we are fine the way we are, and we carry on and move on with our life. Don't do that, is the advice here. Because I feel a lot of your understanding is going to be about relationships, and it's going to be about your financial health. Because in the coming few months, what I see is that you are only going to worry more and more about your finances, and at the same time, you're going to get a wiser understanding of your relationships. You will actually now realize that, okay, how it is that you need to be managing relationships in your life. And not just romantic relationship, but also friendships, relationships with your parents, with your colleagues. Because what I'm seeing is that you are people who absolutely love. And you just love the idea of companionship. Because as I was taking out your cards, like this was just a card that popped out, which is giving me a cue into the fact that, you desperately seek romantic relationship, you seek companionship, you feel that, that is the one that's going to give you true joy. And when will you find someone, that can love you the way you deserve to be loved and the way you love the other person? However, I don't see that happening in the coming few months. Instead, what I see is that the coming few months are going to be an overload and an overdose of wisdom. I'm sorry for what I'm going to be saying next. It may sound slightly harsh, but this file really needs to become a lot more wiser. Whatever your understanding is right now. And I also feel, like with this card here, it's like that, a part of yourself thinks that, it is very wise. And that's why the decisions up until now, the way your life has progressed up until now, or your choices up until now are justified, because those were the wise things to do in those times. But I think you're going to have like a lot of mind-shattering realizations now, like it might also break you a little bit is what I'm hearing. And I want you to know that, while this sounds like a little bit harsh and a little bit heartbreaking, be strong. Because, Jupiter is a fabulous planet to show up in cards. If you grab the wisdom right, if you grab it without denial, by accepting and by truly courageously working on it, there's going to be too much positive fortune and good fortune coming your way. So it is important that you accept the wisdom that is being shown to you. In your romantic relationships in the coming few months, what I'm seeing is actually you're going to be a little bit more detached. You're going to be spending a lot of time with your own self, thinking that, okay, what is it that you seek from the relationships? What is it that has not served you in the past? How is it that you deserve to be loved and deserve to be treated? And while you desperately want romantic love in your life, I don't see it happening. Because again, this is a time to gather, absorb, and work on the wisdom that is being shown to you. And you are going to do a lot of that. You're going to understand a lot more clearly about how you should go about finding a romantic partner, or how you should be in a romantic relationship. On the work front, what I'm seeing is in terms of your career, see, for few people, there can be a slight shift or a complete shift in the industry. So suppose if you're maybe a graphic designer, you might actually move into production. So I'm seeing that shift. For few people, it could also be a shift of place. So you might get a job in a different city, or in a different country also. That is also highly possible. And for few of you, there might be just a new job coming your way. Actually, not job. I want to say more like job offers. What I'm seeing is very slow energy in your cards overall, okay? So if anything has to happen, might happen by the year end, or any new opportunity that may come to you. You may simply observe it, and then from that, just understand that, oh, these are the kind of opportunities that are coming to me. And this is where I can transition next as like into my career. So maybe instead of doing it immediately right now, let me take a little bit of time. Let me still build more from what I have, like in this career phase or from this particular job. And once I have maybe a strong or a solid case study or portfolio, then I will transition to the next thing. So I'm seeing very slow energy here, like even if you will get opportunities, you will not feel like moving immediately. Another message I want to give you, ever since I've started reading for the pile, I'm feeling like a throat issue, or I feel like I'm not able to like speak properly. Words which usually are like regular tarot words, which would just flow to me, are not flowing to me as easily. So I would like to say and there is anyway a lot of water energy, blue, purple energy in your cards, I would like to tell you one thing. I think you really need to learn to communicate. What my cards are saying is you're not very good at communication. And funnily, you chose the blue crystal. How could I miss that? You need to learn to communicate. I think in times of conflict or in times of maybe disconnects, I don't think you are a great communicator. That's first message that's coming to me. Second message that is coming to me is that, as people, it's very easy to simply be like that, oh, we got hurt by people, we got betrayed by people, and so why do I need to change things in myself? And because people were bad, so they need to change things in themselves, right? But see, relationships are a work of two people. So what I'm getting here is that not everything is about how the world needs to change. Sometimes you being a part of this world also need to change. And this message is coming to me very specifically about people who love and care for you. I think you need to recognize that. And you need to understand their love language. You need to understand that how can you be giving and caring towards them in the manner that they seek from you. Like how we are talking about that, you are going to figure out how you deserve to be loved, and then you will want to be treated right. It is also the same for people who love and who care for you. So I'm hearing this message that you also need to learn to express yourself to people who love and care for you and understand their love language. Because like I said, relationship is a work of two people, right? So it's important that if you want to be supported in your journey, the other people in your life who are truly your inner circle, who care for you, they also deserve the same, and they deserve to be showcased that. So that's why it's important that you learn the love language of other people as well. Because what I'm seeing from this pile is that you might also be a little bit more self-focused in the coming few months. And while that is not wrong, okay, but at least from the pile, what I'm hearing is that that's not going to do you any good. It's important that you instead learn that who are the people who are truly important to you and keep them closer. And for that to happen, you can't be in this complete aloof or self-focused energy. You also need to be focusing on them. You need to be nurturing those relationships as well. Okay. Now coming to your financial card. See, financially, I don't think you're going to be in great health. Okay. I feel that you are not great at managing your personal finances. You do not understand how do you go about your spendings, your savings, and how do you go about creating wealth for yourself, okay? I also feel you may have few dependents on you, and whatever money you bring in just seems to be never enough. I'm also hearing this message that, you may have taken certain risks in your life in regards to your finances, thinking that, like it will serve you well. But it hasn't. Like some of the risks just don't seem smart enough now. And that's why, again, this is also where the wisdom is going to come in, You will start having these conversations with yourself to understand that how do I manage my finances better? How do I go about understanding what and how do I spend my money? But at the same time, how do I save from it as well? What I'm also hearing is you will start loving money. You will start understanding money in the truest form. Sometimes what happens is when we don't have enough money for a longer period, which I'm seeing right now, we start having this lack of money mindset, right? So another wisdom that you're going to be learning in the upcoming period is that how do you start loving money? You're not scared of money. Instead, you see money objectively and you figure out how to go about with your expenses, savings, spending on desires, and ultimately also investing for a better future. So that is going to happen. But do I see your financial health getting better in the coming few months? No, I don't see that. Now, on the personal self, see, because there's a lot of wisdom that's going to be coming in your life, okay? And I want you to be very open to this wisdom, because I am kind of receiving this message that, it might make you shut off from the world, shut off from your own self, because it might become very overwhelming. Don't do that. Accept it, embrace it. Why? Because you're completely going to transform as a person. You will actually feel victorious coming out of this entire phase of so much of wisdom, learnings, and like minute understanding of life. And you will feel that, yes, you have actually conquered a very big roadblock in your life. Because what I'm seeing in the cards is that you always thought that, yes, I am a wise person. All my decisions are stemming from a place of like being wise enough. But that's not the truth. And you will now realize it. Now, when you will realize it, if you accept it and if you embrace it, trust me, it's going to feel like a huge, huge win in your life. And you will have people supporting you, cheering you on this journey, hyping you on this journey, and being there for you. Okay? Now, the next message that I have for you is one advice. That is that take the right action. Everything that wants to go, let it go. Everything that wants to come, let it come. So this is a very important message here for you, pile number 2. Because what I'm seeing is that, like I also said, that you desperately want companionship. You seek a companion. But at the same time, what happens is when we are seeking something so bad, we often end up adjusting to a lot of things that we should not have to. We accept things that we would not otherwise. So it's important that you realize that what are the things in your life that need to go. And this is also in regards to your finances, If there are certain financial habits or patterns that you need to let go, maybe like impulse traveling or impulse shopping, then you need to understand that and let those patterns go. And everything that wants to come, let it come. So like I said, there are a few people in your life who support you, who care for you, who cheer for you. But do you understand their love language? Do you understand how do you also play a part in nurturing that relationship, and not just them? And what is it that you need to be doing better in your part? So you do more of those things so that people who truly want to stay in your life actually end up staying. The last message or the theme for this entire year that's going to be for you is you're actually going to learn how to surrender unhealthy relationships. There's a lot of relationships in your life that don't serve you. And that also means people who are unavailable or people who are toxic. So you deserve to be treasured by others and surrounded by only positive people. So like I also said in the reading, it's important that you nurture the relationships that you have that are truly there for you, okay? But at the same time, let unhealthy relationships go. And I think that's going to be the biggest wisdom. I think you anyway struggle a lot with the relationships in your life. Maybe that's why I heard the word dunyadari. Because it also means that how do you deal with people, with office colleagues, with friends, anybody and everybody, And I think you struggle with that. And tying it with the message of that, how my throat is also feeling a little blocked as I'm doing this reading, and there is a need to express yourself more clearly. I don't think you know how to also communicate what you desire out of a relationship. And at the same time, I think there's a lack in understanding what the other person desires. Like suppose if somebody is constantly acting up in a particular manner, not giving you the time, that is them speaking, right? That they're not in you. But maybe you need to be told this explicitly till the time you truly understand it. So all this little wisdom is going to come together to make you realize that how you have been catering to a lot of unhealthy relationships, and it's about time that those leave your life. Also, when the wrong things leave your life, they leave a huge void and a space, and that space can be filled with people who truly love you and cherish you. New people who would want to come into your life to love you the way you deserve to be loved, thanks to all the wisdom that you have gathered. So this is going to be one very important theme in your life for this year. And another is that you also need to understand how to nurture the good relationships in your life, how to nurture them better. So yes, that's all I have for you, pile number 2. Another message that I have here for this pile is these two cards also jumped out as I was shuffling for you. I think in the coming period, no matter how much you try and escape the lessons that life is trying to teach you, there is going to be no escape. So while you may find different distractions, different hobbies to focus on different things, but you cannot escape the lessons and the wisdom that Jupiter is trying to teach you. So make sure that the sooner you accept it, it is going to be a lot more better for you. I know it's a little overwhelming reading and there's a lot that's going on here and in your life, and as the cards speculated, a lot might happen in the coming few months. But I would just want to tell you that make sure that you are constantly recentering yourself, calming yourself down, and at the same time working on your throat chakra so that you just feel a little bit more centered. That's very important. Alright, let me know if any part of the reading resonated. Please do comment below and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. If you chose this yellow crystal, then this reading is for you. Honestly, your cards are very positive. One of the most positive piles that we have had, like out of all the 3 piles. I think your lesson up until now has been to get a better hang of your emotions. I think up until now, maybe you were like a very emotional person, but in the last few months, the first half of 2023, you have actually learned to get a better hang of your emotions. You have learned to become a little bit more practical. Like you are emotional, but you know how to demarcate practicality from those emotions and function accordingly. I think in the last few months, you must have also learned the need to defend yourself and the need to accept few things about yourself which maybe others were criticizing you for or others were not very fond of. You have learned to accept that it doesn't matter if you're not fond of it, but this is who I am. This is me. So you have learned to understand your true self, and you must have also learned how to let a few feelings go. Honestly, I'm seeing that, this pile has healed a lot in the last few months. They have truly come to the realization who they are, how do they like to function, and what is it that they should be nurturing more within themselves, but at the same time holding certain parts to themselves more strongly. And which I feel is a very positive direction. Because see, what happens is we are often so focused on changing ourselves that anybody comes to us with a little if and but about us, and we are immediately ready to take in that feedback and be like, oh, I need to change this. Maybe you don't. And this is exactly what this pile must have realized in the last few months. Now, what are you going to be learning in the next few months of 2023? First things first, I think your career is going to take a drastic turn. If things were slow up until now, they're going to be picking up pace. They're going to be moving in the right direction. You're going to be very happy with your finances, with your career. And there are going to be people coming into your life who are going to be helping you regarding your career. You would just feel as if things are working out for you miraculously, as if it's all a miracle and as if some universe is at play to bring things together for you. And I do see destiny being at play, when it comes to your career. You're going to get a lot of success. There's going to be a lot of progress when it comes to your life. And you will feel more powerful in the coming few months. And that is also because you're going to be having a very strong intuition in the coming few months. I want to give this message. If you're working on something and intuitively you feel that, this point might be called out, or intuitively you just feel that, I'm working on this, but I think this is something I need to bring in whatever I'm doing. Do that. Listen to your intuition. It's from these little things that only your intuition not only gets stronger, but that's when you will realize that how truly powerful you are. I also feel that, a lot of your learnings, a lot of your holdups and baggages from the past are going to get completely cleared off by the end of the year. You're going to feel like a new person. And very smoothly. It'll not feel like too much of an effort. It'll just feel like as if, you just listen to your intuition. You listen to how situations were playing out. You responded to them instead of reacting. And things have taken a complete turn in your life. Another message that I have for you here is that I feel you have done many good deeds in the past. You have been this person who has been very nurturing towards other people, and from your heart, some people are nurturing without actually even realizing that they are helping the other person, or they are being nurturing towards somebody, or they're helping them come out of a dark situation in their life. They just do it, because this is just who they are. They do it and then they forget about it. And I think your life is not going to let you forget about it now. Now you will be reaping the benefits of all the good deeds that you have done in the past. And you will be surprised, because what I'm getting for you is you're not one of those people who did any good deeds thinking, I should be doing a good deed, maybe it'll help me. No. You simply did the deed and then you moved on. And now life is going to remind you of those good deeds, and it's going to bring you the benefit of doing those good deeds. You have harvested a lot of positive karma, and that's going to play out now in your life. Very, very positive reading. While I was shuffling the cards also, I was getting like this jumpy feeling, like I was getting restless, but not the negative restless. I was getting like, excited, happy, restless. Felt like, almost dancing, like while shuffling the cards, feeling like dancing right now. So I think it's a great message here for you. And I think some of you want to pick up dance, maybe. You want to learn dance, you want to learn some dance form, and you should. And if you're excited about a particular hobby, or you want to be learning some new skill, you should. The excitement that you have to learn it's going to help you. So be in this excited energy and just go for it. That's my message for you. Just go for whatever you want to do, whatever you want to learn. Trust me, it's all going to play out well. Okay, now what's happening in your love life? See, what I'm seeing is that you have healed again a lot when it comes to your romantic relationships. Whatever holdups you had, they're all going to become a thing of past now. And you're just going to be moving ahead, with this energy of that, whoever I meet, I just need to be like my real self with them. And in doing so, I don't need to be so focused on being on either side of the spectrum, like either over giving or just over receiving. I will just be myself and, play by ear. Whatever happens to me, like on personal side in relationships. And I think that's really going to bring a major difference. I also feel certain people from your past are going to show up in your life again. They can also be friends, It can also be somebody who was romantically interested in you. They didn't have the courage maybe to bring it up to you, but now they finally might. I'm also seeing that you're going to be connecting again with people whom you had lost contact with. You're going to get in touch with certain people in your, you're going to get in touch with people from your past who made you happy, who appreciated you, who liked you, and I think that's going to be very, positively impacting you, because via them you will also learn to like those sides and those parts of you. See, what I'm getting is that because you are those people who have been doing a lot of good deeds, maybe not even realizing that okay, you're doing a good deed. For you it was just oh, isn't this a way of life? But there are few people who genuinely liked certain qualities in you. But as we continue on this life and we start doing good, or we start living by our own rules, sometimes we come across people who don't appreciate us, and that's where you learned not only to defend yourself, but now the same people who appreciated you are going to show up again in your life. And that is where you will also start appreciating yourself more. I read this quote somewhere years ago. Sometimes you learn to love yourself by the acts of other person loving you, and you're going to be getting in touch with those people who loved you for who you were, and they appreciated you. Maybe there was a point when they did not show you that appreciation enough, but you're also going to be receiving it now. Not the most strongest of cards romantically, okay, but I do feel that somebody from your past could be coming back in your life. But also because I feel that this pile is has become wise. Like it's past that phase, where it needs to maybe gather any more wisdom. You are just wise now. So that's why even if somebody from the past is going to show up, it's not going to put you in that overtly excited stage where you're like, oh, because they have shown up again romantically, maybe it's time to initiate things. No, you're going to take your own sweet time. You know that why you let them go. You know why you got over them. Maybe it doesn't even matter to you now. So them coming back is simply going to feel like a redemption. And the fact that, yes, you were right. Like you were just being authentically yourself, and maybe like you were misunderstood, or maybe they did not know how to love you back then. But if they have come back now, maybe you don't need their love now. Maybe you have elevated and you need like a more mature love. Maybe you need love of a different kind now. So there's a lot of peace that I'm also sensing within this pile, utmost clarity and like a deep, deep sense of peace. Coming to your career, I think a great opportunity is going to show itself up. And I see a time frame of maybe 3 weeks to 3 months. And I think a lot of people are going to be helping you and bringing you this opportunity. So it could be like your friend, your colleague, some job consultant, somebody is going to be bringing you this opportunity, and you might actually get like a role where you could be leading a team, where there could be people under you that you have to lead and guide. It's also going to bring you better finances, the new opportunity. What I'm also getting as a message is that these people could also be focused on building slight side hustles. Like they don't want to have just one income source. They might be focused on doing little things that brings them income from a lot of other sources. Sorry. So from wherein, you may not... suppose like if you have a job, so you may not be leading people at your job, but at the same time from your side incomes, there might be like a group of people that you're associated with and you're leading them to do a specific task or like to handle a specific project. So I do see your income streams also increasing, and that is only because you're actually going to be putting in effort. I do see that, these are conversations maybe you're already having with yourself currently, and you're going to be putting in the effort or trying to find ways of how you can do it. So even if nothing happens immediately in the next few months, but you would lay the foundation of this happening maybe once 2023 is over. So that's a good start. Financially, I see you're going to be doing very, very well in the coming few months. You would have good savings. You would be able to take care of your house. I also see that, it's something to do with house or your household. Like the moment your finances increase, I think you're just one of those people who love sharing it like with your family, with people who live with you, or love like adding things to your house, decorating your house. So you're going to be doing that. What I mean to say is that the moment you have more finances, instead of simply gatekeeping, you love to share it with people. So which means you may shop for your family, you may add things or upgrade your house in a particular manner because you love it. Like you love that, okay, if I have money, I want to share that joy with people. So I want to be maybe sending gifts to my friends, or I want to buy gifts for my family. I want to treat myself. I want to upgrade my dressing sense. I want to upgrade my lifestyle, and I see all of that happening. And the interesting thing is that while you're doing all of this, there is again a lot of wisdom here. Not seeing anything being done impulsively. In fact, you're going to be extremely strategic and well planned about it. That, okay, now that I have this pool of money, and yes, these are the 5 things I wanted to do. Maybe I'll not do all the 5 things. Maybe I'll just do this one thing right now, and I'll do the other 2 things maybe next month, and other 2 things I'll park it aside for some time later. So you're going to be very strategic about how you go about your financial planning as well. And definitely I'm seeing like more finances coming your way. See, we have the Ace of Pentacles card. So that's a very good card, right? And now personally, see, what I see is you are also the kind of people who may have some masculine energy within yourselves. Now, if you're a male, which basically means that, if you've always felt like, like why I'm not courageous enough, why I'm not like capable of taking like stronger risks, etc. This is going to increase. If you're a female who was very overtly in the feminine energy, maybe having issues of codependency, maybe seeing relationships and emotions from a very female lens, you're going to be bringing more practicality into your emotions. So your masculine and your female side is going to be balanced. And if you're males, you're going to discover newer shades of your masculine energy, which also means actually that, in especially in the Indian culture, how males have been brought up is that they have been brought up to think less of their emotions, make less sense of their emotions. You can't cry. You don't necessarily have to feel things so strongly. I think it's going to change for you now. So you are somebody who's going to be feeling things more strongly. If you're a male, you're going to be understanding that what are the things that you truly love and that bring you joy, even if the society or the general male narrative tells you otherwise. So it's very interesting. I see you harnessing more into your power in the coming few months. And at the same time, I don't know why I'm getting this message. There are multiple things you're going to be managing in the coming few months. Maybe it's got something to do actually with your side hustle or other income streams that you're building. And for some of you now, it could also be the message of spirituality. Maybe there is discipline, maybe there is spirituality, or maybe there is that you wanted a work-life balance. So it is that, you're going to be handling 2 or 3 aspects of your life in a manner where they are not in conflict with each other. Suppose if you wanted to go for workouts, but your work was not allowing that because it was a hectic work, now you will be able to manage it. You will be able to have a schedule, where you can do your workouts also. You can go meet your friends also after work, but at the same time, you're fully dedicated to your work. If you're somebody who wanted to build a side hustle, you would be able to do that and balance it well also. If you're someone who just wanted to explore more of your hobbies and live life a little, you would be able to do that. So I'm seeing a lot of balance in how you're going to be going about living your life in the coming few months. Now, these 2 cards, they had popped out when I was reading for you, so I'm going to open them now. See, like I said, healing. There is a lot of negative emotions, wrong kind of people, unhappy situations that you have moved on from, okay? And that you have decided to move on from. And I think August is going to be a great period. If it hasn't happened up until now, when you're going to be moving on from a lot of situations that were not giving you happiness. And what will that do is it'll immediately put you into this energy, the energy of the Sun card, where you will feel that, the whole universe is in alignment with what you want. You will feel completely re-energized, excited, happy about your life again. If you're still in that energy, where you're still making sense of things that happened to you in the last few months, you're moving away definitely from the negative situations, things that don't serve you anymore. And it's a very fast moving energy. And as you move into this newer phase of your life, it's just going to feel magical. And in fact, you will feel as if, you will keep on saying to yourself, ki, my destiny seems to be really supporting me. You will believe a lot in Kismet, in the coming few months. You will just feel as if things, they really work out or they play out the way they are intended to play out. So I'm also seeing that energy of surrendering. Understanding that, yes, there is a divine power, there is somebody higher up that truly is putting together a life plan for you, and a life plan that you're going to be really happy in. You will look forward to every day. You'll be super, super excited. One message that I'm getting here is that because a lot is going to happen in your life, it will bring another set of new challenges, new questions. So it's important that you're focusing on some sort of an activity that helps you center yourself. Honestly, I'm getting a very strong message to balance your Kundalini. But I know that a lot of people are not aware of Kundalini, and also balancing Kundalini is just a very oversimplified way of saying what Kundalini is, or that you need to balance it. Like it's not as easy. So I will just tell you that maybe start with a little bit of a mindfulness activity, like either Kriya Yoga or breath work or pranayam. That is really going to change your life. Like the balance that already you will be bringing in your life will increase by manifold. Like everything will seem so easy to manage. Like everything will just seem very seamless. Okay. Now, what is one advice for you? See, you need to understand that you've already let go a lot of negative situations, people, beliefs, thinking. Okay. And you're moving into this new energy. Now, when you will start moving into this new energy, you will realize that maybe there are new things also that need to be let go. So, do that. If there is anything that wants to go, go. Anything that wants to come, come. So be very open to more changes in your life. If something is not serving you, let it go. If something makes sense to you, hold on to it, nurture it better, water it better, so that it stays in your life. So you are being taught simply to truly understand the art of letting go. And the last message that I have here for you is like, what, by the time the year ends, what is like one theme that you will just feel that, oh, I really needed this, or like how your year would have shaped up by the end of the year is that you would have surrendered a lot of outdated beliefs about yourself. Actually, this is very true because like when I said that, I felt like dancing and like it has a very exciting energy, it almost feels as if you're also rediscovering yourself. And you might already be on that path, because the moment we learn to accept who we are, we learn to defend our reality, we learn to be practical with our emotions, we already like let go people, or we are stemming from like the space of wisdom, where if anybody comes from the past also, we know like, okay, maybe there is a space for you, but not maybe exactly the same space that you held earlier. Because I'm seeing a lot of wisdom in these cards, I feel that, you're actually going to be very excited about anything new that comes to you in form of a learning or a lesson or any new realization, because you also want to truly rediscover yourself. And by the end of the year, you would actually realize that, yes, you have surrendered a lot of outdated beliefs about yourself, self-limiting beliefs about yourself, and you have truly found your power. And I'm genuinely seeing a lot of power in these cards, like you're going to feel powerful in the next few months. I'm also hearing this message as if you want to prove to yourself, like you always knew, or you for a very long time knew that, how you have been functioning in the last few months or in the last few years is not your true self. You have so much more potential. You are so different. And I think now is the time when you just can't wait to let it out. You've had those enough conversations with yourself. You've understood that, yes, I am different. And now is going to be the period when you're like, if I am different, then why don't I show it to the world? Why don't I show it to myself? And it's more about now proving it to yourself. So you're not even seeking any validation. All you're seeking is that, yes, now I want to prove to myself that what I truly am, I need to be that. I'm constantly also hearing this word, one life, one life, one life, as if, like you're having this conversation with yourself that, I've just only got this life. There's only this one life. And I have to make sure that, by the end of it all, I am not thinking, oh, I could have done that differently, or I could have done this better. So if I can do anything differently, I can do anything better, if I can unleash my potential, if I can be authentic self, my authentic self, I need to do it now. And I think the sentiment is only going to get more stronger with every passing week. And you're only going to be figuring out ways of how do you go about working on this. So yes, by the end of the year, you might just realize that if there is still a belief that you're holding about you, which is outdated, you need to let it go. Let it go. And that there are few beliefs that you've already let go. And that is going to bring a lot of positive changes in your life. And your career specifically is going to take a complete drastic turn. Hey, this is a very positive pile, I just feel that while you're in the middle of all of this energy, sometimes what tends to happen is, if we don't get instant gratification, or if while we are working on these changes, when we are rediscovering ourselves, if suddenly there is a minor setback, it can make us immediately spiral into that negativity. Okay, so I will just tell you to practice mindfulness, just to stay centered, to be in the moment, and to observe the good and the great that is already happening. So make sure that you're doing that in parallel, so that any minor setback or any new set of realizations doesn't set you back completely, doesn't get you back into that negative hole. Instead, you just realize that it's all a part of the process of letting go and letting things that truly are meant to stay. So that's it that I have for you, pile number 3. If any part of this resonated, please do comment and let me know. And also please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.